is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
I would just like to say we have a new platform assistant today. So Vivian, thank you so much. And as we go through that, we love you and we honor you as you get up for the first time in platform here at Unity of Blairsville. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here. How many of you saw the parade yesterday for Sargum? Hey, neat, neat. To start this morning, joyous morning, love and delight is everywhere. We just have to look around. We're beginning with lighting the candle, as it's here already for us. Is it not lighted today? Ah, easy it's lit. Always something new and different.
I think it went out. It was going. I get to stick my finger in the warm wax. Well.
Some days it's hard to light that inner candle, isn't it? And join with the one that's trying to come down.
It looks like there's something in it, and it's not wax.
Every day has challenges.
Some water had gotten in there. But we need water with our light, right? Yeah. Perfect. There you go.
Thank you, Reverend Bates. Thank you. Yeah. You know, it's little things like that. If we kind of take time to focus when we can't quite get that light going first thing in the morning. And I try to find a way to read something or just take that moment to start the day. And it's hard to just focus. So I'm going to remember this all day, that sometimes it's hard to get that light going. So once we connect with that higher spirit, then the balance and we get rolling. And since I'm new to this, it's kind of interesting. Our statement of truth is coming up next. There is only one presence, one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good. Okay. And then our vision statement, please. Here we go. Centered in God, we co-create a community and world that works for all. You did that well. Okay, our prayer box is here. And have any of you remembered it was up here? I want it to be back there, so I'm going to have to remember it's up here, because this is really kind of special to be able to do this. And I have a friend I want to write in there and remember today. So, and our opening prayer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is our prayer box. We put our prayers in here for the people, the loved ones who are struggling and having trouble in certain aspects of their lives. And we pray for them for 30 days. And after the 30 days, they go to Unity.
Village.
Huh?
Village.
Unity Village, where they pray for them for another 30 days. And in my experience, my prayers generally get answered. Yeah. And so the reading today is free. I am free and I am unlimited. The lyrics to the hymn, I am free, I am unlimited, are regularly sung in spiritual centers of many faiths and denominations. They resonate on the universal level because they express an important truth. In simple words, a proclamation of spiritual freedom. I may encounter daily challenges with my works, relationships, finances, or any number of other elements of this human experience. My ego may immediately believe me to be trapped, forced into painful choices, shaped by the demands of others. I remember that I am infinite potential and that I am always free. At such times I hear my true self gently singing me to the truth. I am free and I am unlimited. There are no ties that bind me. And the scripture says, now the Lord is spirit, and we are the spirit of the Lord. We are the spirit of the Lord. There is freedom. It's 2 Corinthians 3:17.
Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, so we have a new congregational song, My Religion is Kindness by Karen Drucker.
So we're going to invite you to stand. The words are going to be new. So we're learning a whole bunch of new stuff today. Every 6-8 weeks or so, we put in a new song, and we get to experiment with that and see how beautiful our voices are. So show us how beautiful your voices are, even if you don't know what you're doing.
My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is feeling. But live deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My God is forgiveness. My religion is kindness. And I practice it every day. Everyone has a story. Everyone has pain. When we strip away our masks, we find we're really all the same. It's those little things we say and do that can mean so much. It's a smile, a connection, a simple love and touch. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My My God is a feeling that's deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My have forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. Today I'm gonna ask myself, what more can I do? To be a radiant child of God and let my love shine through. I'm gonna let my heart be my guide to give the best of me. I'm gonna share my joy, share my love, give it boundlessly. My religion is kindness, my church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path's forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Yeah. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Then Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came running after her. She said, Jack, tell me, what can I do to help you ease your mind? He said, hold my hand and just be kind. I know I'll be fine. My church is nature. My God is a feeling, live deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path is forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. My religion is kindness. My church is nature. My God is a feeling that lives deep inside. My job is to be conscious. My path forgiveness. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. My religion is kindness, and I practice it every day. Every day. My religion is kindness, and I'm gonna practice it every day.
Just like in one of those Holy Roman churches. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Y'all give everybody a handshake or a hug, and if you don't want one today, sit down. There he is, my man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Boy, now those words I can read.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God.
You can have a seat if you'd like. And we're going to close our eyes and go inside. And we're going to look at the growth that is occurring within you. What does that feel like? What does it feel like when we go inside and travel that journey of experience and learning and what our work looks like and how many different facets of our own personal spiritual growth are there? And we ask ourselves these questions because they're important to us, because they guide us to a more peaceful place, a more loving place, that place we want to come from every day, where there is no struggle, there is only love, and we feel that within us. We feel ourselves expanding, expanding, expanding into the light of being we are. Now as you hold that love and feel yourself just reaching and expanding, we go into the silence. And as we are in this space of co-creation with all that is in that space of silence, repeat as you feel called and use the words you feel in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine is done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. and we are led away from temptation, and we are delivered from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Welcome. 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 So good to see you all, see your bright, shining energies today. We just got back today. Some people went out camping last night, and it was a short little camping trip. We gathered all of our things together, and for me personally, the growth in it was I wasn't sure if I was going to take my tent, a pad to sleep on, or if I was going to sleep in a hammock, which I haven't set it up before. And I'm like, for me, that's some personal growth that I needed to understand. So I lugged a whole bunch more stuff, and there were a couple more people that lugged a whole bunch more stuff than they wanted to lug anyway, especially when we had to get up at 7 o'clock this morning and then pull it out of there and get here in time. So we all hiked up, not even quite half a mile, so it wasn't a big hike. But I tell you, sitting down there by that river last night, by the fire, in communion with our brothers and sisters here in Unity, was beautiful. It brings to mind what Joanne and Walt are getting ready to bring to the table as well. We're starting an adventure club with these guys, and our first event is coming up November 4th. So 3 weeks from now, is that right? Yep. So that's a big hike, but we're going to do it in stages if everybody can't make the whole 9 or 11 miles.
If you get tired, you can turn around or just take a break.
So, that is a part of our expansion. It is a part of our personal growth and taking care of this temple and exercising it. And when we go out into the wilderness and we go out and we see this beauty around us, we get to expand. And that's what today's talk is about. It's about our growth. What does it look like? Because there's the physical side of growth. There's the mental, the cellular level, the soul part of our growth, our spiritual level of our growth. It's just all there, and we're all continually growing because we want to get better and better and better and love and be filled. And we got a lot of people that really enjoy that. So I open that all up to you as time comes. We've got a lot of really exciting, fun things coming for our health as well, because so many people here. I think that's one of the reasons we moved to the mountains, isn't it? We come here because we want to get in the mountains. We want to enjoy the water and the streams and the trails, and we really feel called to that. And that was one of the awarenesses I had this week. I was like, wow, a lot of people, actually about everybody I've met, moved to the mountains for some solitude and some peace and some grounding in the energy that comes up from the beauty that is here that hasn't been taken away by cityscapes. So we've got some good things. In the Charles Fillmore talks about growth as being an increase by assimilation of new substance and multiplication. We grow by incorporating spiritual substance into our consciousness. The law of growth, and we talk about these laws, right? We have laws, we have principles in unity, and those are the things that guide us in unity principles. Sometimes people say, well, what is unity? What's that about? And we talk about universal laws and universal principles. And when we hear them and we look at them and we take them in, it's up to our own consciousness to see what that means for us. We're not here to tell you, I'm not here to stand on the pulpit and say, this is how you do spiritual growth. This is how you do this. All we do is talk about the spiritual laws and principles, and you think on that, and you meditate on that, and then what comes to you is yours to do in that spiritual law or principle. So today we're talking about the law of growth, and it is beholding. So beholding is pretty cool. So when we're beholding something, when we behold the body as anything other than its divine idea, what are we doing?
Hold it back.
We're holding back. And as Charles Fillmore puts it, he goes, in error or sin or discord. And in unity, we use the word being off the mark as sin. We don't, you're not born into sin and you're not born off the mark as far as unity goes. We don't believe that. We don't believe in original sin and being born in original sin. That's not one of our concepts. We believe we're born perfect, whole, and beautiful. So sin here means in Sanskrit, off the mark. So in unity, when we say that, translate that into what what we say, and we really don't even use the word, but sometimes it does come up. To behold ourselves free from these keeps us from manifesting freedom. So I find it very, very interesting in spiritual growth, the increase of God in man. Spiritual growth equals that. The growth in man. Because what are we? We are God made manifest in us. So when we grow in that increase in God and man, all growth is first in mind. So we think it, right? Every thought is a prayer. And it depends on the standards we are holding in mind. So if we're holding lower standards or frequencies that don't vibrate quite so well with ourselves, we might get sick, we might not feel well, we might experience things that don't look so pretty sometimes. And that's part of our culture from the time we're born to be programmed. We learn certain things. And then our spiritual growth is to lift that stuff up to the truth of who we really are. So we go through learning spiritual laws and spiritual principles in order to begin to lift ourselves up and have that experience where we ask the questions, not just what we're told from when we're growing up or what we might have heard or from our families, but to ask ourselves the questions. So when we ask the question in consciousness, what happens? We're given an answer from the subconscious. It comes out of our subconscious, goes into our consciousness, and we begin to get to expand in our spiritual awareness and our spiritual growth. A high spiritual standard has lifting power. We know what that means, right? Every time we're having that high spiritual experience, we feel nothing but love, right? We feel nothing but being lifted up. And by tapping into that, it makes us want to learn more. It makes us want to learn more about the spiritual laws and more about our spiritual growth, right? All growth and unfoldment are based on the law of spiritual growth. We earnestly desire and persistently affirm will be ours if we faint not. What do you think faint not means? Just to throw it out there.
Persist.
Give in. Give in.
Forget.
Believe.
Dig in.
Yeah. So we take these things. I'm sorry, what was that one?
Be conscious.
Yeah, be conscious, not fall asleep, right? Don't faint into sleepness. Don't faint into falling asleep so that we can do that work and lift ourselves up.
Kind of like don't be weary well doing.
Yeah. So what comes to mind for me is, in growing our congregation, in growing ourselves and inspiring ourselves, I want to tell you a little story about this week. We did 4 new membership classes. Well, we did one class. We had 2 classes actually, and 4 people were here this week. And I'm telling you, the energy that's coming in here, and people are very busy up here in the mountains, but everybody shows up when they can. But the growth and the excitement that I'm feeling from the new members that are stepping in here has been amazing. We sat here, in classes. I started about 4 o'clock on Thursday this last week. And new people were here, and Pat, you were actually here. I don't remember. Okay, I think in the room, that's all that was here this week. But, Carla's coming on as a new member, so that was kind of cool. She's been here the whole time. Mary Ann Cuthbertson, they're not in town this week, and Grace. And Grace was here. But the energy that came out of that made me really begin to feel what's happening here. Last year, it felt like there was a very heavy energy. Every time I turned around, we're learning and we're feeling, and the energy seemed very heavy last year, the first 6, 7, 8 months of the year. And everybody was feeling it, and people were sick, people didn't feel well, they were just tired. And then something happened when we knew, and I keep talking about it because the experience for me is a lifting up in our spiritual awareness and our spiritual consciousness. Something's happened, and I'm going to verify it because I'm seeing it in you. I'm seeing it in me. That thing that was holding us down, that energy, that transformation that was occurring seems to have lifted. And the energy, like I said, with people coming into this classes were like vivacious, and they wanted to know each other from the heart. And we were having heartfelt conversations, and I believe that's where we are. I believe as a community, as unity, we are lifting ourselves up in that spirituality, and I'm feeling it from you. I'm just feeling such dynamic excitement that it seems like we have stepped into something new now. The world has stepped into something. Yay! It's about time, right? We've stepped into some newness of who we are, and we're feeling like I'm called to do this, and I'm seeing it from so many of you. So many of you. Vivian, we're getting ready to start. And we can talk about things, or we can do things and make them happen when they come through us and we're whole with what that information is. One of the things that I've been missing about, and this is just part of my little story here I want to share, it's been tough for me to reach our senior ministry. I'm not so good at that. I took a test not too long ago on Facebook, and it identified me as a millennial. Well, I'm a boomer. I was born in the boomer time. I wasn't born in the millennial time, but I don't think exactly, because a gift that I was given about 8 years ago was go find who the millennials are, find out who they are, what they do, blah, blah. I was not given that to do with seniors. I never heard the thing say, go find who the seniors are, what they do, what they think, how they sing, what they love. I wasn't given that gift. And in the ministry, what I've been finding over the last year is certain ministers do certain things, and certain ministers do other things. And then there's other ministers that do other things. And we're not all given the gift of knowing how to do all this stuff. We can take on a few of these things that we're given, but we have to be called into what we're doing. So regarding our senior ministry, I was looking at the surveys, and I tell you this, the 4 agreements and learning to be a minister, and when I go to UMass and I see other ministers and they're talking about things going on in their churches and in their centers. And one of the things that I realized about me was I needed help. And I got people around me, but sometimes I don't even know how to ask for help, do I, Claudia? I don't always know how to ask for help. I'm learning. I'm a newbie. I'm a new minister, a year-old minister, but I'm learning. And so when I started reading some of the surveys, we were getting, and some of you know this, but we were getting everything from 4s, and we love the music, and we love where everything's going, to we need a new minister. So, we're getting everything, and I'm not saying that as anything negative. I'm saying as it brings to my awareness that I'm not meeting the needs always of everyone, right? Our room has changed a lot since I first got here. A lot of the people that came here don't come here anymore because I don't speak that message. And that's a lot to have to learn to deal with, because you feel like it's you. You feel like, wow, all this shift, all this change. And we are drawn to the energy that resonates with us. And so people come or they go. And if my message doesn't resonate, what it tells me is, how do I serve what I've learned, what I'm learning? Is how do I serve my senior ministry? So I called Vivian. I called Barbara Curran. I was trying to think of her last name. And I said, I've got some things on my heart here, and I know I'm not answering all the needs. Can you help me somehow? Well, I'm happy to say that we've spent hours this last week. And I got to go hang out with some of these people and some new programs. And so we're going to begin to work with answering some of the needs, let's say, of our senior ministry. And when's our first class going to be? On our Body, Soul, Art Spa Day.
I don't have the calendar.
It's something like the first part of November. It was in the newsletter. We briefly talked about it. But we're going to start reaching out and asking for help from people that know how to do senior ministry better than me, in a different way than I do it, that maybe can reach some of those needs that I'm not able to. So when you look at your spiritual growth, are you good at everything?
No.
Are you good at some things?
Yes.
Are there people around you that can lift you up and help serve all of us by being a community where we can lift each other up and be good at what we're good at.
Yeah.
I see those as possibilities. And I'm feeling really good about this senior class. And I'm just feeling really good about it because I think what I feel happening is after a year of experimentation and learning that we're probably getting ready to bring in a whole new senior ministry of people with what we're getting ready to offer, because we're going to be putting it out in the newspaper. We're going to be going out to the public. And at the same time, we have events like yesterday where we did the parade and we had kids there, we had dogs there, and people loved the dogs. We had our own parade of dogs, you know. And people were like, oh, look at all the dogs. That's so awesome. You know, but what did we also learn when I got here? Not everybody likes dogs. So, you know, again, I'm a huge dog person. So, you know, we've made boundaries, and we're going to talk about some of this next Sunday. We're having a town hall meeting, and I hope please spread the word. We're having a town hall meeting based on the surveys that we took. And our spiritual growth, our personal growth is being relayed to us in these surveys. Some positive about what's going on, some that say we need work on what's going on. So we're inviting everyone after service next week to a town hall meeting. And we're just going to go, and we're going to go down that whole list of surveys. Good comments, bad comments, and just let everybody know what everybody's thinking and just get some feedback from you as our town hall and as our community.
Eggs being as Halloween.
What? Rotten eggs, what? So anyway, did this change? Did that went back? Is this where we are? Or did it go backwards?
Yeah, that's an older screen.
That is an older screen, right? Okay, here we go. So we finished at the bottom here. And then spiritual guidance, the impressions that come from the spirit of truth within man. So as we're doing our homework, each of us, as we're doing our homework, you're being guided to do what you're doing. And what I've seen in the last 2 to 3 weeks since September 23rd, since we held that event, we made a huge statement. And we had 12 vendors there, and y'all were the ones that were the vendors. The people, and it was beautiful. Over 300 people showed up, and people would walk up, and I'm going to keep telling this story because it hit me hard. There was a 25-year-old man, and some of you heard this and some of you haven't, that I walked up to at that event, and, you know, it was the Unity and Diversity flyer, and I just introduced myself, and he goes, did y'all put this together? And I was like, yeah, we put this together. You know, and he goes, well, I thought it was a joke. He said, I thought it was a joke. How far removed does that tell me society is with spiritual consciousness and doing loving things for an entire community? Because people don't think, it's never been done before out in public like that, where somebody said, for one day can you live the golden rule and treat your brother and your sister as your brother and sister. Nobody had ever seen that at a major event like that. Yeah, there's things like Off the Grid, and those kind of concepts that Off the Grid was amazing. But as far as just something where everybody was really invited to, this was new. And to the youth, they thought it was strange, and they didn't even know what to think about it. So I'm sure the older people, the seniors and the boomers, thought the same thing. Well, I don't even know what this is. Is this some kind of unity? Yeah, who knows what was going through their mind? But the point is, people were real impressed. And as people came through those doors, they were like, wow, this is beautiful, whatever's happening here. That's spiritual growth. That's our own growth. That's us reaching out into community and saying, we're not afraid to be unity. We're not afraid to be community anymore. We were not invited this year. We couldn't even come to the religious side of the farmers market, that event that happened, and all the churches were invited.
But we were in the parade and had our picture taken all over town.
And we were in the parade. And we were in the parade, and we handed out our new, who's got a flyer on the chair next to him? The blue flyer. Anybody got one? It's the new Unity and Diversity one, not that one, but it's blue. Well, they were all over the seats. I don't know where they went. So anyway, but the idea is that people kept saying, and Linda, you were one of them, if I may share. Linda said, I'd like to share, unity and diversity, but how do we bring that together with what we're doing? We are not here speaking to literal religious people in this town, are we? Who are we speaking to? We're speaking to people who want to hear.
Yeah.
We're here. That's why people come to Unity, or they would go to the Baptist church, or they would go to the Methodist church. But in this space, we are growing in our own spiritual way. We are becoming who we're becoming here. We're not anybody else. We're not trying to be anybody else. And I think we're doing a great, great job. I think you are doing a great, great job. You are stepping up like you've never stepped up before to make these things happen. Pat, and who's doing that with you? The bazaar? Linda.
Thank you.
There's a lot going through my head. Thank you. Don't even know who I am. I didn't forget you. This is the way the brain works sometimes. But, you know, we're looking at doing a Christmas bazaar, and we're going to bring that before the board and the congregation. And, you know, people are saying, wow, we make things, and we'd like to invite the community. And there's so many more things coming up with announcements. When you grow being here, I get to grow. Thank you. I get to grow when you grow. If you're not growing, I'm having a hard time growing. But what I'm experiencing is you are growing. And I feel like I'm growing. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for a year where I have grown and grown and grown. And it hadn't always looked great or pretty to some, and it has looked great and pretty to some. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful that I am starting to feel love here. You know what I did? I got time for this too. What I did is I came from a community called Community of Chi. And I watched something amazing happen there in Chattanooga where people inspired each other. They didn't complain. They didn't talk about people. They didn't gossip. They still have their stuff to learn. But something happened in that community where everybody, and it happened within a few months, they just lifted each other up and started saying, wow, I want to know, and I want to know who you are here. I want to know your heart. And they started digging into each other's hearts, and we did that together. It took me a while to accept that myself because I came from something so good to where I didn't really know anybody. I knew a few of you, and I got to know each other. But I don't feel like I was always able to get into the hearts of everyone, just like I bet if I was feeling it, I'm going to turn the mirror toward myself. You weren't able to get into my heart. Maybe. Did you want to? Did I want to? I don't know. But I think when I first got here, I was trying to understand how do we create an infrastructure here to create beauty in this place from the time that I arrived as a spiritual leader. Now what I'm watching is it's happening. We have the most beautiful people here wanting to go deeper, wanting to explore themselves. And out of that is coming some amazing things which you're going to hear about in the announcements, and you're going to keep hearing about it, where we are in the parades, where we're running around and having fun with the community out there to grow. Yesterday when we were passing out flyers, people weren't going, I don't want your flyer. They were going, please give me your flyer. Please give me your flyer. And they were asking for the flyers. I don't think it has anything to do with people who are afraid of unity. I think we haven't reached out. And I didn't know how to reach out. Maybe you didn't know how. Maybe we weren't ready. Maybe we were afraid to reach out because we live in a place that says guns and drugs when you drive down the street. And it looks pretty conservative and scary. So anyway, we're here. When you grow, I get to grow. Do you believe you are needed here? I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Do you believe you're needed here? Yes. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you believe you have something to offer?
Yes.
I believe you do. And when I get to see it, it's amazing. It's doing that thing it does to me. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. That's what we're doing here. We're building leaders. We're building leaders in community. And you're all leaders in your own way. You're all, in ministerial school, we say you're all ministers. I hate to put that on you. That's a real big one. But I'm going to say you're all ministers. You're all ministering to who you are and the gifts you get to bring to the table and the gifts you get to share with everybody. And once I can look and you can look into the hearts of everybody and you put down all the judgments, you put down every single judgment you have about somebody because they look funny or they don't speak the way you want them to, but you can look in their hearts instead, you're going to find pure magic. And we're going to inspire each other with that pure magic, and that leadership will come out of you, and we will lift you up and support you. Just like you've been lifting me up and supporting me. That's how it works. Through that inspiration, there's absolute magic. So you are needed, loved, and appreciated. Do you know that? Yes. In this place called unity, you are free to express yourself through spiritual growth. Free to be free, be free, be free, and be liberated. Because what happens when you become free? In knowing you are needed, there is a freedom to do what you are great at. When you know you're needed, there's a freedom with that. In being able to express your gifts freely, you become liberated. Isn't that what we're looking for? A way to find liberation for our souls and our hearts. And we do it with each other. You can't do it alone. You can't. I'm going to tell you now, and I think you know it. You cannot be liberated alone. You need each other to lift each other up, and that's what we're doing.
You gotta get out of the ditch. Come on, get up.
When we attain liberation in our growth, we sparkle. And that sparkle is what we're looking for here. That's what I'm looking for. Are you looking for some sparkle?
Yes.
Sparkles. Sparkles. These are sparkles. People full of sparkles in this room. I'd like to thank you all. Thank you for this year. Thank you for what we're going to do. Next week is going to be about what are we going to do next year? What are we going to express? So please come and share with us your part in what we're going to do next year. Thank you. Now we'll go ahead and get everything going, put our hands together. We'll do our offering and repeat with me. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Do y'all want to come forward? No, you go. No, you go. No. We're not going to go together. Let's bless these offerings. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts of love to the will, the way, and the work of God, and so it is. Amen. Namaste. Namaskar. All right, now I'd like to, I know we've got at least one new visitor today. Michael, welcome. Michael's helping out at Chi House. Devison found Michael through however way that all happened, so he's been helping us out there. Do we have any other new visitors? And Michael, when you leave, we'd like to give you a little pamphlet and stuff to take with you if you'd like. Thank you for being with us. Announcements. Again, next week, big day, town hall meeting prior to our elections. Board elections coming up. Barbara and Leroy and whoever put that all together out there, that's the name of all of the people running for the board. Right next to it is a list of all their resumes. So would you stand now if you're running for the board? So these folks, I would ask that you take a minute and go up to them, ask them, hey, what's going on? What kind of life experience do you have to bring to Unity of Blairsville? They all have amazing experience, and I am so excited. I am so excited about the new board that's coming on here. Truly. The people you are looking at here right now are some of the most amazing people in this place. So I want you to look at their faces and those standing And when it comes time to vote, ask the questions, vote wisely, and let's do amazing things here together. Thank you, guys. And all the resumes are out there. We're going to have potluck afterwards today. I know we got some more announcements.
Yeah, we, several of us here, Pat and Greg and I, have thought about the fact that a lot of people here either sell something or they make homemade things, like I make jewelry that I'm trying to sell. So I'm doing shows. So we decided, it's going to be very small because we don't really have enough time. But we would like to do like a Christmas bazaar where if you're interested, we will have a sign-up sheet up there after the potluck or during. We will put one up. If you have something that you would like to contribute, you'd like to be in the show, you could help us with things, we would certainly appreciate it. And then next year we are planning on trying to work with...
A big blowout show.
It's going to be huge next year. We're going to start working on it in January and try to get the other Unity Church involved and anybody else in the community that would like to be involved. So if you know anybody that sells anything, you think they might be free, they'd like to join us, please don't hesitate to tell them about it. We're not quite sure on the date yet if it's going to be on a Saturday or a Sunday, but it will be the second weekend of December.
December 10th, I think.
Yes, the 10th or 9th. Depends on how many people want to be in this. If it's big enough, we'll do it on Saturday. If it's small, we'll do it after church on a Sunday.
So we shall move forward with that. Thank you so much, guys. This is going to be fun. This will be fun. And Leroy, I believe you have an announcement on surveys?
Yeah. We mailed out 46 surveys. We got about 1/3 of them back. If you got one and didn't send it back, you can either bring it back or stick it in a stamped envelope and drop it in the mailbox. If you didn't get one for some reason or other, I have some here. If you'll just see me, I'd be happy to give you one if you didn't get one in the mail. We tried to find everybody. We didn't send them just to members, we sent them to members and people that come to the church. So if we missed you, I've got a few extra here. Get one. We're going to...
And then raise your hand if you don't have one, and I'll...
If you didn't get one. How many do you need?
I know I see 1, 2... Is it one per household, Leroy, or one per person?
One per person.
Okay, let me have 2 ones.
When were they mailed, Leroy?
They were mailed
It's been 2 or 3
about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Everybody else did you guys get one?
No.
And I think we're good. Okay, Leroy, anything final on that?
No, we're going to get them back as quick as you can. If you want to fill them out today, there's a basket in there you can drop them in. We want to start tallying, and we're getting ready for our annual membership meeting, which is on November 12th, I'm sorry. And so we want to get these things all tallied and have time to think about them and let everybody see what was said by everybody. We're not hiding anything, so if you want to look at the original surveys, you're welcome to. We didn't ask anybody to sign them. I think maybe a few people signed. That's purely optional. We didn't do anything to try to figure out who filled out what. So we truly want to get an opinion from everybody about how we're doing, what we can do better, and we appreciate your participating in this.
Thank you, Leroy. Vivian, would you like to talk about our senior spa day?
Well, do you want to do it now or do you want to wait?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Take a couple of minutes and talk about that because it's exciting. I'm looking forward to this. Doesn't matter, it's in November, but we still got like 3 weeks, so we got plenty of time.
Well, good to be able to share with you what the planning is and work out and coming up with ideas and that, and a certain way of looking at seniors, because I'm in that category now. I work with them for about 15 years. I'm in that category, and I like to be, not called an older adult. So as a senior, and I worked in retirement, nursing homes, memory care, just a lot of different areas and I've been an activity director a few times. So the program that came through and working with Bates and kind of trying to pick up in this town, what's needed, what would work to bring people in. And I don't want to be a part of anything unless we're having a good time with it.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for that energy. And this might sound a little muchy, but I can guarantee to you that if you come to this workshop, this gathering, that you'll have a good time. Now that sounds like a lot, but I was hired by LA County for 10 years as a teacher to go into retirement. And these were well seniors and nursing homes, and they weren't always very well. And you didn't keep your job if you didn't keep people interested and involved. So the areas that I covered and that we're going to get into here, or we shall, are exercise. Is there anybody here that could use a little bit of exercise? Okay. And this is, I like the hand over here, and this is in a chair. Now there's a part of it where you can stand if you want. And I'm certified, or was a few years back, in exercise. And I don't just say 10 of this, 5 of that. And I use music, and you're exercising and you're not knowing that you're doing it. Does that sound like fun? And I've been hired to do places. I worked at the marshes at Skidaway Island, which is a very affluent community. And my boss said, "Are you doing that?" And when she wasn't around, they said, "Just keep doing it, what you're doing. We don't want the regimented way." So exercise, and maybe it's only 15 minutes. You can get a lot out of it. Then the next part will be a topic. And so I should say what it's called. It's mental, physical, and spiritual. So, but the physical, I put in the middle there. It's a balance point, because your mind goes here, your spiritual goes there, and if your body isn't awake and alert and involved, some days, I don't know, I can't tell you, I have to work at that myself, that my physical can be, So we're going to come up on the physical. So after the physical, the mental will be a topic, and I won't guarantee it, but I even cooked on occasion. And we did astronaut food. That's a whole different realm. And I don't tell what that is. So the topic will come through, and then there will be a spiritual realm. And I can use humor. Now, Bates knows that humor is a piece to me of life. If I can't laugh a bit every day, I ain't going anywhere very fast. Is that okay? I love this. So, and I try to be appropriate. I am known to tell jokes, one-liners to the Wendy's people. You know how hard those people work? I would last maybe 30 minutes in that job. Never could, never would be able to keep up. So, and I know I'm talking a little bit too much here, but, and when I see a policeman, these are little stories that could come up, and then I want to hear your feedback when we're doing these segments. But I stopped a sheriff. He was the most handsome sheriff in that capacity, and I told him a one-liner. I said, "You people aren't appreciated." I said, "I bet you don't get much appreciation." He said, "No." So I told him one of my one-liners, and he said, "Thanks," and he went that way in the store, and I took off. So being in front of the public eye for about 25 years, but I try to be appropriate. But if we can laugh, what a difference it makes, okay? So the laughter, the topic, the laughter in the spiritual realm, and a lot of times I find when people get comfortable, they've already been into a spiritual realm, and they give it back to me and others.
So we have more of this coming. There'll be more. We'll feed it up. And please tell other people what we're getting ready to
Let me give the name here, because I did get a little carried away there. It's Mind, Body, and Spirit Spa for seniors. Now, there's no written rule for seniors. We're saying, what, 55 and up? So, thank you.
You feel good. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Vivian. We look forward to learning more. Now let's start our song. We got our song, Joshua? Let's go ahead and bring in the kids. And we'll do our lesson since we're running a couple minutes behind. We'll just go ahead and bring it in. Come on in, Barbara. Thank you. Thank you, Vivian.
We welcome our guest, Bella Rose, and two of our friends are still working on their projects back there. They'd rather do that than come up here, so that's all right. But these two created a beautiful artistic message for you outside today. So when you leave, you'll get to go out and look it over, telling all about God's love, and you can read the message. because they did a beautiful job. So we're finishing up our project here on what is God and where we find God. And of course it's inside of all of us and everywhere present. So thinking positive words creates positive interactions in our life. And that's what we're all trying to do. And so they each earned a little gift today, a little necklace, because they were able to recite something from the Bible, a Bible verse that they had learned. And we're all working on the prayer for protection. And when they get that all memorized and do it by themselves, then they'll get something special too. Or they can learn the Lord's Prayer or another 23rd Psalm, any particular thing in the Bible that they want to do. That's their choice. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's all stand. Thank you, guys. Y'all join us. Let's do our Let There Be Peace on Earth song.
Thanks.
Yes.
Before we go, remember to bless the meal.
Okay, we'll do that in a circle. Thank you very much, Claudia.
That's easier than trying to hurry them into a circle afterwards.
Perfect. And we're doing a little different version, but it's the same thing. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And now our prayer for protection. Keep your arms up. And you know what? They do this a little different in some of the others. So I think we're going to start doing a call and repeat. So I'm going to repeat I'm going to call the first line. You repeat the second line. The light of God surrounds me.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds me.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects me.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over me.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Keep your hands together. We say thank you for these amazing, beautiful people that are here to shine their light and their spirit. And we're going to go eat that amazing food that is going to transform each of ourselves into the love and light that it is. And we know healing is all around us. We say thank you and enjoy the potluck. Amen.
Amen.
We hope you've enjoyed your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. We hope you've enjoyed your stay. Outside the sun shining, seems like heaven ain't far away. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. We hope you've enjoyed your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if just for the day. We just for the day.